Hey guys, Game Hunter here, and today we're looking at a little game called Dungeon Dash. Now, Dungeon Dash is a game made from a game maker contest, specifically the Game Builder 20 event competition of 2011. It was created by Andrew Sum and Jess Bowers. I'm going to guess Bowers. So it's a very simple roguelike. I would even put it in the arcade roguelike category, as far as I could tell from screenshots and just quick video gameplay. But otherwise, I'm going into this with as little knowledge as possible. But it is an extraordinarily simplistic game. You only have move, attack with arrow keys, open up the inventory, and then you can do use, sell, cancel item, and then or skip a turn. So we're gonna go see. It's not gonna be a long series. It's probably gonna be a week's worth or so. But for the most part, we're looking at a game that's kind of like, it's turn-based, so it's not extraordinarily fast-paced like something Splunky style, or and the map. Holy crap, there is a map. I never find those correctly. I don't know if you're supposed to explore the whole thing or what. I guess I like to make everything green when possible, but yeah, it's probably more or less for the ability to just know where you've been. But it's, like I said, it's not in the category of shoot first or... Are you gonna go after me? There we go. It's not in the category of shoot first or Splunky, because it is in fact... Oh, come on. No? You actually being smart, you silly skeleton? Dang, okay, well that guy hurt, but you get max health when you level up, so we have one of those types of strategies that we have to worry about. And we have our inventory slash stat area, which contains level, experience, gold, strength, life current and max, as well as the next level of we also see, I guess, damage and armor buffs. I'm not sure if that's exactly what that is. Let's go ahead and equip. Can we equip? No, just one or the other. But we also have boots to put on, so there we go. And that is what we're doing right there. But otherwise, this is going to be fairly straightforward. We're not going to delve into too much of this. I suppose, if nothing else, I'll probably discuss more about what we could see in games like this. Because since this was made for a game developers competition, it's not going to have a lot of thoroughness with regards to execution and what could be. So I guess this series is going to be a little bit about my ideas as a person who makes stuff, even though I'm a very tiny bit of development person. For those of you who don't know, I actually work a little bit in Doom the Roguelike as somewhat of a content developer. And we'll be getting a new version of that shortly. I'm making levels and stuff for that. But for the most part, are these all boots? They're all boots, okay. But I guess you can sell them. I mean, there's no point in me having multiple ones, right? Such as it is. Oh, wait, what? Ah, crap. I didn't realize that. Okay, yeah, I need to go find a new one. And I guess we'll just do some hit and run tactics there. What do we got? Chest. Oh, well, Nelly. I think this has been the entire area? No, I just got here. What am I talking about? No, wait. No, it is. What happens? Hold on. When you... Okay, well, there's our first bit of bug that we see, is that going to the map, or going to the inventory and back, completely clears the map cache, or whatever that would be called. I don't know if it affects other things, but that is a bit of a flaw. I'll give the game that. But really, it seems like it could be interesting, so that's why I'm going to stick with it. So, should be interesting enough, anyway. Are those gems useful for anything other than maybe just giving more gold or experience or anything? Because I don't know what the 3, I think, is the level, which means I'm close to level 4 at this point. Who could even say? Although, what I do like about potential roguelikes, honestly, these days, I usually think in terms of both classical and a modern roguelike. And classical is going to be obviously stuff very similar to the original Rogue, which is going to be just simple ASCII movements, leaving the player to the imagination and just using as much creativity as possible. Whoa! You hurt, good fiery friend, fiend friend. Whew, that was pretty nasty. Okay. And since I leveled up recently, it's going to be a while before I can make use on that. Okay, good, helmet. Very good. And yeah, these count. That's part of my equipment, even though it doesn't show it. Another little iffy that would be very important in terms of UI is knowing what item is equipped right now. For sure. Ow! Yeah, I'm taking damage here. And I don't think I'm anywhere really close to leveling. It's a bit of a pain. But I did collect some nice island boots. Oh, but there's you. Okay, so there's that. Okay. Oh man. Okay, well, at least he died. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these. And that healed me just a little bit, but should be enough to carry me through to the next level. In the meantime, we just collect more things and leave that at that. But if you notice, you might say that modern roguelikes tend to employ a use of a graphical layout. In some cases, having music and sound in order to provide that. And that's going to be one of the dichotomies between games that stay more true to Rogue, where it's as simple as possible, and games that try to break into more of a mainstream adaptation, like, say, Dungeons of Dreadmore. Or, I guess, Splunky. Some people would argue that Splunky doesn't even have enough roguelike elements to be a roguelike, but honestly, the fact that it's random enough, and I prefer to think of the modern roguelike term as an almost just very generic, other than having somewhat of a randomness and having a sense of needing to accomplish things, and that every action you take is important and whatnot. I think it's just very important for the player to be constantly expected to perform well and not have any sense of, quick save, quick load, for instance, as many games seem to these days, which is almost a shame. This axe is probably better than the sword, so let's go ahead and get rid of all these. Actually, you know what it looks like is that I'm not even sure these items are unique right now. It's just that a cloak is what it is, and if you have more than one, well, then just as long as you have one, you have it equipped, basically. It sounds odd, but I'll take it. Large helm, that's even better. So there we go. And another one. So let's take like the first one, for instance. Yeah, at that point, it doesn't really matter what I've equipped. Ah, man, I'm so close to leveling. I need to find something easy to kill. There we go. Excellent. So now I can fight stuff that's a little more difficult to fight. It might not seem like there's a whole lot of strategy going on here, but there is. There definitely is something to worry about. Although, I have to admit that the randomness of the motions of the monsters does make it a little less tactically appropriate to do certain actions. And sometimes it just simply doesn't matter how well you play. In some cases, when you're expecting the enemy to not move, they do move. So that's unfortunate, but you take it as you can. And there we go. There's some super... Wait. That is better, okay. The difference between iron armor and a cloak is 1. Go figure. So. And we have yet to get a shield. Oh well. Ooh, but we did get a nice sword now. Yes. Oh, a very nice sword. That is a huge boost. And I am glad to have found... And then yet another boost. There we go. Loving the boosts, so I don't even have to worry about most opponents at this point, because I'll just kill them. Very cool. And we got gold boots that are somehow better than iron boots, despite the fact that gold boots are not going to be literally better. As a matter of practicality, gold is actually rather soft and just extraordinarily heavy. If anything, the reason that it's so valuable is simply that it's rare and it's hard to find, whereas iron is not, even though it's far more practical. Go figure, though. I mean, we always try to make use of the resources that we have, and that what better way to do so than to make things that aren't useful instead just simply desirable by just expected intrinsic values. It's a weird world, but whatever. I'll take it. Better than to have completely worthless stuff that you're not going to use. Just imagine playing a game where you have items that are just completely worthless. It's like, what you would think, why would you even bother having that in the game? And I would completely agree with that. But we are getting a lot of potions, so I don't even have to worry about health so much anymore. And when that's an issue as such. There we go. The enemies do seem to be moving a little more in tune with, well, let's say, actual trying to outsmart me. I don't know if that's a coincidence, or if that's just the way that the game is working right now. Unfortunately, I don't remember where the ladder is, so I'm going to have to go look for that for just a little bit. And there it is. Okay, cool. So what are we fighting this time? Wow, that guy had a lot of HP there. I'm not going down, so I have to actually maneuver myself away from that area. So what do we have going on here? Cobra. I guess I should bring in the Joes to deal with that. Yeah, those guys like to run away. Go figure. Armed versus armored. I see. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just use a couple of these then. Excellent. Wait, did that... I think that potion also gave me gold in addition to... I see that. Yeah, that... And then I sell it, and then that's also worth a little bit. Huh. How about that? I don't know if selling ever has a point other than just freeing up your inventory. What? Wait. Oh man, there's another case. But, well, maybe this won't be a very long series after all. I was expecting it to be a little bit farther, but I hadn't realized that this is, in fact, well, I wouldn't say entirely unfinished, not necessarily polished state. But it's still pretty cool. So, I don't mind that much. Sell that to pick up gold. Go figure. And then we just head on and we move on to the next area. So you can see that monsters aren't always visible. They're visible within a certain... Okay, cobras hurt a lot. Note to self. Note to self. Cobras hurt a lot. So I need to be very careful around them. They don't seem to have too much HP, so you can just kind of kill first and reflect upon your combat later. But other than that, we're just dungeon crawling. But we see the very basic elements of Rogue here. Obviously, we're missing things like I'm just going to dive at this point. We are missing certain aspects that were in Rogue. For instance, potions that do quite varying effects, and well, that's an interesting enemy that I need to worry about. Tomb of minor strength. Yes, let's go ahead and increase my strength then. What? Because why not? And that seemed to make it far easier to kill everything somehow, like that water elemental. Can't say I understand that, but maybe it has a reason. Finally, a shield. Took me long enough. Now these guys shouldn't be much of a problem. And then we just keep on chugging along, Okay. Yeah, those guys are a whole lot easier to deal with now. Great. Okay, well, at least that's good. That you can be standing on something and collect it as long as you have inventory space. That was a nice little gesture that the game has. Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. I need to be a little more careful around those guys. But we are missing things like scrolls and potions and I think wands were in the original rogue. I could be completely wrong about that though. But just the idea of having consumables that do varying things that could really change the game depending on what you're dealing with at the time. There we go. Yeah, there's no way to drop things, so you just sell them for your points, I guess. Oh, whatever, just sell it. There you go. Excellent. And I'm just gonna dive some more. Wine. Oh, but I want to get that. That's kind of a really good piece of equipment that I'd like to get. So we'll have to just move along and wow, that's gonna be a ways to get there. Quite winding indeed. But really, that is one thing that can make a big difference for a game in order to attract people, essentially, is just having some simple icons. I think Crawl's a good example of that, where you have a roguelike, and Tome obviously does that as well, where you have a roguelike that has a certain aesthetic appeal to it that goes beyond the console movements. And you see a lot of, if you want, I guess if you just want more people to play than expected, than just kind of the roguelike hardcore fans. How do I get... Oh, I guess it's impossible to get over there. Why didn't I notice that on the Holy Crap map? Go figure. What are you, Lizard Man? Lizard Man doesn't seem so bad. Well, that's good. Now, what are you? I need to figure out what you are. Greater strength. So that's an extra 2 points. Wow, this game's already suddenly providing me with a lot more equipment than I expected. Huh. Well, I don't even know what to say about that, other than huzzah, huzzah. Man, what else to say? Because honestly, I have a feeling that I'm just going to complete this in a single round. So this is just, I don't know. I think I might just kind of just chug this one around for the rest. Just look for the stairs and go down them. Because that's one thing you can change. You can do self-imposed limitations in order to increase the challenge of a game. Because right now, for instance, those little fuzzy bunny slippers that give me even better... That almost does make sense if they were enchanted fuzzy bunny slippers. What do we get here? Nothing important. What do we get here? Also nothing important. Just use it to use it. Not abuse it. Oh. There we go. And that picks up both things. It's also a nice little gesture. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You are actually something special, aren't you? Quite! Goodness. That's a lot of extra damage right there. Barnacles, man. And a cloak. But I guess there isn't too much else. What are you? You're like a lobster. You're a demon. Demons are quite nasty if you're not worrying too much about yourself. Which I don't seem to be right now. Huh. So I'm level 6. I wonder how that works in the great gist of things. Because overall, well, I think my opinion about this, about what's going on here, has changed in the course of this little let's play of the game. But I mean, it's a very simple game, and honestly, it's worth just a quick look. In the same way that Get Out is worth kind of looking at, and that's better, good. Because it does show what you can do with a very simple background of understanding how roguelikes go. But the one thing that I'd say this game missed is the necessary component of thinking, really having to think ahead about fighting. Obviously that cobra, I want to wait till it approaches me so I can attack first, but that is relatively low necessary understanding of tactics in order to accomplish it. Not to mention I keep having to go to that last bit to sell. Not too much of a problem, but Certainly when I'm collecting all sorts of things, I don't really want to have to do that every single time. That's why we're dungeon diving. Ooh, that could have been rough. And that looks special. So there we go. Most excelente. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. The music's cool. I'm guessing that one person, worked on the music and one person worked on, well, music and graph. I guess I don't really know, but if I were to guess, I would say that's one character worked on the aesthetic and the other one worked on the randomness and the coding, so to speak, at that point. So yeah, but I'm collecting my coins and getting my levels, and it's kind of a funny statement on what some people might consider a roguelike, because in many ways this has the feel on the surface of a roguelike, but whoa, that's cool. And that's not even as good as this sword. I have 2 of those. And 2 of those. Wow. So let's move on. But it's really missing the necessary ingredient of very refined and diligent need of tactics. I know I'm stuttering there, but just bear with me, because I've been playing these roguelikes for a decent amount of time, and even though I might not be very good at them, I understand what makes them interesting. Especially in the case of things like Dungeon Crawl, where I'm not using my wands properly, which could very well save my team. But let's not digress onto that subject. Instead, let's look at this game, and wow, this is a very windy area, isn't it? Fortunately, I can look at my map to see where I need to go in order to get where I need to go. So, oh yeah, okay. But the demons, the cobras, the water elementals, interesting ideas, but they don't, other than their stats of offense and defense, and to some degree how they move, there really isn't a whole lot going on in this game. And that's a bit of a shame. Ooh, wow, that's gonna be quite a sell right there. 40 whole gold, that's incredible. I mean, really having some sort of consumable that does very unique, that looks pretty sweet. That's even better. Very nice. And that's even better too. Probably. So there we go. But I'm wondering if there's a boss enemy or what. Because I'm not seeing anything kind of like that going on as I progress. Instead, it's really more of the same. Oh, whoa. Really? Took forever for you to show up, Mr. Wooden Shield. No kidding. But really, I'm not even bothering to try right now, because I'm just diving, dungeon diving. That's one way to oh man, I'm almost dead from that. But what are you? Nothing special. We'll use a large potion, because why not? Ooh. There's something. You're also something. Sometimes there are those doubles that I don't even notice happen, but they do. I don't mind that. It would just, I guess, some UI that shows that it's happening would be appreciable. But, huh. Yep, that's what's going on. I feel like this has almost been a waste of, well, going on for 25 minutes, perhaps, so 15 minutes is probably enough for a game like this. But let's just see if we can get as far as humanly possible before finishing this up. So let's just zoom it, zoom it, zoom it. Find those stairs and, oh, there we go. So yeah, that was the Dungeon Dash, and a lot of bonus gold for, I don't know, a number of stats. Huh. So that's Dungeon Dash for you, and I guess you can stop playing and then continue at any time if you really want to. But obviously we don't have anything for that. Yeah, I was expecting that to be more than that, but it looks like it's more or less a monotony of sorts. It's cool, and again, like Get Out, it's actually worth checking it out just to see how the game moves itself. If you notice, the AI slowly got better, and that was something to actually worry about, and if the game didn't decide to give you, really good stats and stuff that you didn't really have to think too much about your fighting styles, then you might actually have to put that into practice. But unfortunately, I would say that the execution here on the mechanics is a little lacking. But all the same, it's perhaps a good example of the perception of a modern roguelike. And in fact, if you take a look at, for instance, Crawl, these games can be far deeper than on the surface of what's shown often, what people think of perhaps in a roguelike. Because in fact, the original Rogue, as deep as it could be, compared to the standards of games now like ADOM, Angband, NetHack, and Crawl, there's so much more that you can do in those games and have completely different experiences all the time. So, in other words, the roguelike formula has changed quite a bit over the years. Maybe not necessarily in its pieces, but the quality of the pieces that are put into it. Anyway, this has been Game Hunter playing Dungeon Dash and talking about stuff as I played it. Join me next time when we take a look at another game. I'll try to make it a series this time. Surprisingly, I'm trying to find one that is kind of out there, and it's a little difficult, but I'm certain I'll find one. So, in any case, until next time, keep playing those roguelikes, everyone, and take care.